What if I told you there's an animal that can have acid injected into its skin and feel nothing? No pain, no reaction, no panic, no screaming, just silence. Imagine that. Not numbness, not delayed pain, but total indifference. As if the acid wasn't even there. Now imagine that same creature crawling through tunnels filled with carbon dioxide, air so suffocating your lungs would beg for mercy, but it doesn't beg. It just keeps digging. This animal does not fear heat, it does not fear poison, it does not age, and it does not feel the burn that would cripple any other living thing. This isn't a supervillain, this isn't a horror story, this is a real animal, living, breathing, multiplying beneath your feet, and it is very, very aware that you know nothing about it. This is the naked mole rat. And it may be the most invincible creature you've never seen, but how? How can one of the ugliest, tiniest, strangest mammals on Earth be more pain-resistant than a lion, more adaptable than a rat, and possibly more immortal than we are? To understand, we need to go beneath the Earth, into a tunnel system older than empires, and meet a queen whose reign may never end. But before we do, let me show you something scientists still struggle to explain. It started with an experiment. Researchers placed a naked mole rat on a table, motionless, calm, hairless, pink and wrinkled like a raisin with teeth. They injected its leg with hydrochloric acid, a substance that would make most mammals yelp in pain, twitch uncontrollably, or try to escape. But the naked mole rat, it didn't flinch, it didn't twitch, it didn't even blink. They tried again, same result. They injected capsaicin, the chemical that makes chili peppers feel like fire. Still nothing, no pain reaction, no brain signal, no fight or flight, just stillness, just peace. Why? The secret is buried inside its nervous system, specifically in a sodium channel known as NAV1. 7. The same one responsible for transmitting pain in humans. In naked mole rats, that channel is genetically altered. Broken, you might say, but in reality, perfected. The mutation means their nerve fibers can't transmit certain types of pain, especially those triggered by acid or spicy compounds, but that's not all. Their bodies are bathed in carbon dioxide down in the tunnels. That CO2 forms carbonic acid, which, under normal conditions, would cause a burning, painful irritation in our eyes, lungs, and skin. Not for them. They were built to live in pain's domain and never feel it. Let that sink in. A mammal that survives being burned from the inside by its own environment and doesn't react. You could bathe this creature in conditions that would drive a human into shock, and it would keep crawling forward, chewing, digging, feeding, sleeping. If you're enjoying this documentary, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means a lot to us. We are just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. So, what's the evolutionary purpose? The answer may lie deep underground in a world where light never reaches and where pain is a luxury you can't afford. But to understand the mole rat, we must enter its home. And once we go down, we may never see biology the same way again. The savannas of East Africa are wide, golden, and dry. At first glance, they seem empty, just grass, thorns, and scattered shrubs. But beneath that dry crust, just a few inches below the surface, is a hidden empire. A labyrinth of tunnels, miles long, twisting, branching, collapsing, expanding. And at the center of it all is a chamber, warm, packed with bodies, guarded, hidden. This is the royal chamber, and inside lies the queen. Not a metaphorical one, a real biological monarch, the only female in the entire colony capable of reproducing. Surrounding her are hundreds of others. her daughters, her sons, her workers, her soldiers. They serve, they dig, they protect. They are the underground nation. Each naked mole rat colony can have up to 300 individuals. That's not a nest, that's a city. There are foraging teams, nursery guards, tunnel scouts, waste managers. This is not chaos. This is eusociality. The same structure found in bees and ants, but this is a mammal. And mammals aren't supposed to behave like this. So how did we get a rodent living like an insect? And what exactly happens when you try to challenge the queen? She is longer, heavier, dominant. The queen naked mole rat doesn't just command respect, she radiates it. But she wasn't born royal, she fought for it. You see, in a colony of naked mole rats, any female can technically become the queen at first. But the moment one rises, the biology of the others shuts down, because once a female wins dominance, something strange happens. She begins to emit pheromones, chemical signals carried through touch and scent. These signals flood the tunnels. They're inhaled, licked and absorbed by the others. And they do something shocking. They suppress fertility. They silence the reproductive systems of every other female in the colony. Those who could once become queens now become workers, loyal, sterile, programmed to obey. And the queen? She begins to change, physically. Her spine elongates vertebra by vertebra to make room for constant reproduction. She births litter after litter, up to 30 pups at a time, multiple times a year. But her rule is never truly safe. If the queen weakens, even slightly, another female will challenge her. The tunnel will become a war zone. And the battle? It's not fought with claws or fangs, it's fought with skulls. The contenders engage in violent headbutting, ramming each other with bone-jarring force until one gives up or dies. And the moment a new queen takes the throne, her biology changes instantly. Her body prepares for pregnancy, her scent changes, and the colony's rhythm continues as if nothing happened. If you are enjoying this documentary, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means a lot to us. We are just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. In this world, power literally changes your body. But even the queen is not immortal. So what keeps her alive for decades? What keeps her heart beating without slowing? And what keeps the colony moving, breathing and surviving in a place where most mammals would choke? That takes us to a different kind of power, not political, not social, metabolic, and it begins with the breath you can't take. Let's go deeper. The air inside a naked mole rat tunnel is thick, not with oxygen, but with carbon dioxide. To us, it would feel like breathing in an old tire. Heavy, hot, toxic. In a sealed space like that, oxygen runs out fast and carbon dioxide rises like a tide. For humans, that would trigger panic, hyperventilation, and eventually death. But naked mole rats, they don't panic, they don't gasp, they switch fuel. In 2017, scientists discovered something extraordinary. When deprived of oxygen, naked mole rats begin using fructose, not glucose, to keep their cells alive. That's the same energy pathway used by plants. Let that sink in. When the air turns deadly, these mammals behave like photosynthetic organisms, not needing oxygen to keep going. Their organs slow down, their hearts beat less. Their brains enter a low-energy state, but they don't die. They just wait, up to 18 minutes without oxygen, far longer than any other known mammal. And when oxygen returns, they snap right back to life. No brain damage, no heart failure, no stress. This is not survival. This is domination of an environment most creatures avoid entirely. But that's not even the strangest part. Because while they thrive in these conditions, acid-filled, oxygen-starved, disease-prone, they don't deteriorate. They don't wrinkle, they don't sag, they don't weaken with age. The next chapter reveals why death seems optional for them. In the wild, life is fast, especially for rodents. A mouse lives 2 years, a rat maybe 3. Their bodies burn bright, fast metabolism, fast reproduction, fast death. But the naked mole rat, it doesn't follow the script. These creatures can live for 30 years or more, and up to 10 times longer than most rodents. And that's just the surface of the mystery. Because it's not just that they live long, they don't age. At least not in the way other mammals do. In most animals, aging comes with consequences. Higher risk of disease, declining fertility, organ failure, slower metabolism, weakening muscles, and ultimately death. But naked mole rats don't show these markers. Their risk of death doesn't increase with age. They don't get the rodent version of arthritis. They don't get cancer. They keep reproducing. They keep digging. They keep functioning. In science, this is called negligible senescence, the biological phenomenon where age doesn't affect mortality. It's rare. Some turtles have it, some fish, maybe even lobsters. But a mammal with negligible senescence, that breaks the rules. So how do they do it? The clues lie deep within their cells. First, their cells produce an unusual molecule called high molecular mass hyaluronan. In humans, hyaluronan helps with skin elasticity and tissue repair. But ours is small and breaks down quickly. In naked mole rats, it's 5 times larger and it lingers. If you are enjoying this documentary, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means a lot to us. We are just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video. Scientists believe this molecule may block the spread of cancer by preventing cells from clumping or mutating uncontrollably. In most animals, protein synthesis leads to small errors. These errors accumulate with age, leading to diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and many cancers. But in naked mole rats, their ribosomes are super accurate. They make fewer mistakes. Their proteins stay folded correctly longer. Their tissues stay younger longer. They also produce powerful chaperone proteins, molecular bodyguards that protect other proteins from damage, and their telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of chromosomes, don't shorten as quickly as in other mammals. This all adds up to a shocking conclusion. The naked mole rat doesn't just live longer, it fights the very process of aging from the inside out. But even more shocking, these secrets are not locked in an ancient cave or hidden beneath the ocean. They're crawling beneath the soil of East Africa right now, and one day soon they might crawl into your hospital. It's easy to think of the naked mole rat as a curiosity, a footnote in a biology textbook, a strange bald creature that defies the odds underground. But to scientists, especially those working in medicine, it's something far more valuable. It's a living blueprint. A biological map that may hold the answers to some of our most desperate medical questions. How do we stop cancer before it starts? How do we extend healthy life, not just prolong suffering? How do we survive strokes, organ failure, low oxygen, chronic pain? The naked mole rat might hold the key to all of them. Despite living decades, giving cancer more time to appear, naked mole rats almost never develop tumors. One reason is their high molecular mass hyaluronan. Another is a gene called P16, which stops cells from dividing when they sense crowding, a natural tumor suppressant. Then there's their low metabolic rate. Less oxidative stress, fewer damaged cells, a slower biological clock. Now imagine translating that into human medicine, a therapy that mimics the mole rat's tumor suppression mechanisms. Anti-aging treatments built from their protein repair systems, painkillers inspired by their acid resistance, no addiction, no side effects, stroke and heart attack recovery protocols based on their oxygen deprivation response. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not. In fact, trials are already underway. Researchers are studying naked mole rats in labs from Germany to the US, trying to reverse engineer their resilience, cell by cell, gene by gene. And if we succeed, the creature we once overlooked, mocked even, may help us live longer, healthier, and more pain-free lives. But there's a cost to this power, because to fully understand the naked mole rat, you have to accept something uncomfortable. It doesn't live like us, it doesn't love like us, and it doesn't die like us. Its world is colder, simpler, and far more brutal. Imagine living your entire life in darkness. No sunlight, no seasons, no soft bed, no fresh air. Just dirt, heat, scent, claws, tunnels. Your every breath shared with 200 others. Your movements dictated by a queen. Your body never aging, but never resting either. The naked mole rat's immortality isn't paradise, it's utilitarian, mechanical, relentless. They don't play, they don't bond like dogs or primates. They serve, they dig, they reproduce. They die, and when they die, they're replaced within hours. No mourning, no ceremony, they vanish into the soil. In some ways, that's the ultimate irony. The creature that seems to defy death is surrounded by it. Because in the end, the naked mole rat teaches us a strange, almost eerie lesson. That immortality, true immortality, is not about joy or comfort. It's about function, efficiency, survival. And for all our intelligence and innovation, nature may have beaten us to the secret of eternal life. We love stories about miracles, the phoenix, the fountain of youth, the elixir of immortality. We search for answers in the stars, in ancient scrolls, in billion-dollar labs. But what if the answer was never hidden in myth? What if it was underground? What if the naked mole rat isn't a mistake of nature, but its first experiment? Think about it, a creature that doesn't age, doesn't feel pain, doesn't panic without oxygen, and never ever gets cancer. A creature with a rigid caste system where biology bends to social control, where pheromones dictate who can reproduce, where entire colonies function as one brain, one goal, one will. That's not a mistake, that's a prototype. What if, in some quiet corner of evolution, nature said, "Let me try something new. Let me see how far a mammal can go without warmth, without light, without comfort, without death," and then it buried the blueprint in soil, hoping we might one day dig deep enough to find it. And now we have. But the real question isn't whether naked mole rats are special. The question is, what happens when we bring their secrets to the surface? When we decode their genes? When we transplant their mechanisms? When we try to become them in pieces? Will we become more resilient or less human? Will we trade pain for numbness, age for stagnation, life for survival? Because if the naked mole rat has taught us anything, it's that life can be long, efficient, controlled, even immortal. But it may not always feel alive. Down there beneath the sun, the tunnels remain warm, damp, silent. A queen scratches the soil with teeth, honed by decades. Her body hums with fertility. Her subjects obey. No aging, no cancer, no fear, no pause. Just the eternal rhythm of the underground. And somewhere, just beyond the walls of her chamber, a scientist holds a vial of naked mole rat DNA, wondering if this is the future, wondering if immortality already exists, and if so, should we follow it? Because nature already answered the question, we just weren't listening. If you are enjoying this documentary, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means a lot to us. Thank you for watching. Check out our other